All right, welcome into Extra Time, where we're throwing away our shot sheets very politely, though, and we're taking your questions. We have a lot, though, today, Craig. Look at that. You ready? You still feeling it?
Yep.
We've been going since 1 p.m., 2 p.m. I don't know. We'll see.
Try 3.
Try 3. Oh, I came in at midday because I'm a tough worker. All right, Trevor Martin asks, Dan Thomas, the weasel in hiding. I guess he's referring to the fact that Stevie lost a bet to you about Eze.
He certainly did.
How much does he owe you?
What did he say Eze would play?
Of course he went. Yeah, but you know when he gives you that face, like, basically saying, don't be so stupid, of course he's playing. I said, right, stick your money where your mouth is then, pal. So we had a 20 buck bet. So I can't wait for the next time he's in and I'm in, get me dough. And you know what he's going to, I bet you know what he's going to do.
What?
Because I gave him $50 worth of coins.
Oh, that's exactly what he said.
And I know he still has them. So I'm expecting to get 20 bucks in coins.
Well, he actually has written into us and said that he's going to pay you in pennies.
That's fine.
Did he at least pay you in quarters?
I didn't
Just
pay him in
anything?
quarters, did I? I gave him pennies as well.
Oh, geez. All right, well.
That's why I'm getting them back.
There you go. You get them right back.
Yeah.
Half of them. Craig, ready to move on?
Yep.
Well, Jules is also still with us. We'll bring him in a bit. But this next question now. After watching Liverpool versus Arsenal, do you think Arsenal can win the league if they play this style of football against the top teams? Jules, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think so. We've explained that it was quite cagey because they wanted control, and you don't always play like this. You play like this as well because it's away at Liverpool. And yeah, I think last season maybe there was too much search for that control from Arsenal instead of being a bit more creative. And when they took the lead, instead of going for a second and third goal, they tried to manage that score and see the game out, which cost them because they dropped a few points from winning positions, far too many last season, which was a big difference with Liverpool, for example. So I don't expect them to play like this all the time, but in this game, they felt that was the right approach.
Greg, what do you think? Arsenal have something on this hand to play this type of football against the big teams?
What type of football? I'm a bit confused.
Well, how they went about the game today. It wasn't the most beautiful style.
I think that was down to their personnel. They controlled. They had an element of control in the first half. They had a good shape. They passed it well. Just didn't create a lot. But guess what? When the two best teams in the country at the moment come together, it's not easy to break teams down sometimes. You're playing against good midfield, good defenders. And I think Arsenal, I mean, they gave Leeds a bit of a pummeling, but they didn't play particularly well at Old Trafford. They were okay today, lost, but things don't change. It's them in Liverpool at the moment, head to head for the title. Things don't change.
Nada? No. All right, let's move on, because this one's for Jules from Shaba. Jules, do you think Mikel Arteta has any excuses after this season if they don't win a major trophy? Their setup today was diabolical and screamed that they were playing for a draw, as Stevie said, which is on the manager, if I'm honest.
No, I think there's pressure on him because of the squad that he has now, with more depth than he's ever had. The investment again from the Kroenke family, Josh and Stan, on providing him the players, not just spending the money, but also signing the players that he wanted. Sometimes you spend the money, but it's not exactly the guy that the manager wanted because you could not get to him or you didn't. But this time, they're all his players, the guys that he wanted. He wanted Madueke, Zubimendi, Gyökeres, Nkapie if he comes, Mosquera. These are all his. So that increases massively the pressure. And when you've come so close for the last 3 seasons, that also brings a lot of pressure because you need to make that final step, which he hasn't been able to get his team to do, whether it was because of him, because of injuries, because of Liverpool being better or City being better or finishing the season better, all that kind of stuff. They would have had to learn a lot from it, and you would expect him to know better now and this time to get it all the way.
I don't understand how I don't understand how Mikel Arteta's setup was diabolical. We could probably argue about one player, Eze and Martinelli, right? And I'm on Eze's side all day, every day. I think he's a terrific player, fantastic player. The Odegaard omission was more down to the injury he picked up against Leeds, the shoulder injury. That looked quite innocuous at the time, but it seems to be bothering him. That apart, what else would you change? You wouldn't change. You're not really going to change the back four. You're not changing.
You absolutely can't argue with what he did today. You absolutely can't argue what he did today. I mean, I haven't won there since, what, 14 years ago, something like that. I'll tell you what, though, you can argue how they went about playing against Man United at Old Trafford. You know, team that was...
There for the taking.
What were they, 16th last year?
Yeah, they didn't play well. They looked as if they were rusty, Arsenal, that game.
That would be the question. Not today, not this game.
All right, next question now. Should Liverpool consider the option of Szoboslai being their #1 right back?
No.
No.
No. Well, if you saw the show, Craig was absolutely spot on. If you are Arsenal and you've got Szoboslai playing right back, the first thing you do at every opportunity is get the ball to Martinelli's feet and get him running at him. And if Szoboslai was going to play right back for the rest of the season, regardless of the opposition, that's exactly what they should do. Get the ball out to whoever's wide on the left and get running at him.
He's going to end up back in the middle of the park because I did think he'd be the guy to miss out with Florian Wirtz coming in. As good a player as Szoboslai is, Gravenberch and McAllister, I think we're going to play and may well do so with Wirtz in front of them. But Wirtz has had these struggles, so they might have an extra midfielder in there at some point rather than him. Or McAllister, who struggled today, might sit out some games and Szoboslai will go and play alongside Gravenberch. So I think ultimately he'll end up, whether it's for Wirtz or one of the others, he'll end up going back and playing in the middle of the park. Or maybe he'll just be on the bench and Conor Bradley or Frimpong come in and play in that right back role.
Jules, do you feel any differently from the guys?
No, I completely agree. I mean, you don't sign Frimpong and you don't have Conor Bradley to play then Szoboslai right back. He's there to deputise because he also brings you something different when you in your build-up phase and in possession than what Joe Gomez, for example, or even Endo will bring you. So we saw that again today. So he's very valuable, but no, not for the long term.
All right, next question now. Given how quick ESPN FC is to label Manchester United as embarrassing, I would love to know Craig and Stevie's thoughts on the other team in Manchester.
I'll give you my thoughts, Neil. I'll give it you quick. They won the title 5 years in a row, City? Four years in a row. They won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup till it's coming out their ears, and they won the Champions League recently. Spot the difference?
I mean, United did take them down in the FA Cup.
One team gets knocked out by Grimsby, and then needs a ridiculous pull of a jersey against one of the relegation hopefuls.
But one team's higher than the other right now in the Premier League table and got a win this weekend.
Yeah, well, you know.
So who's embarrassing this weekend?
City are not embarrassing.
I tried. Guys, I tried.
Well, you've no ammunition though, so you're always going to fail, ain't you?
They're going to a gunfight with a water pistol.
Aye.
Not even a water pistol.
At least bring a baseball bat.
Well, that mighty water pistol took down the mighty Burnley, I'll tell you that much. Next question now. How is that a penalty in the game of Rayo Vallecano versus Barcelona? Well, we've spoken at length about it at the desk. Jules, did you see it and what did you think?
Yeah, no, I saw it. It was never a penalty. I mean, with no VAR for the referee, from his position, maybe he thinks that there's something. I think there's also the fact that, as Izzy was saying after the game, you know, it seems to be given a lot to Barcelona and a lot to Lamine Yamal, those kind of instances, often against Rayo as well. In this case, at least the referee, you know, made a, I don't know how you say in English, but went to Izzy Palacios and said, like, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, I should not have given the pen. I know this doesn't change anything in the fact that they were goal down then, and that doesn't cancel the goal, but at least he was honest and recognized his mistake, which, to be fair, I kind of value.
Well, the good thing is, and we didn't get to talk about it in the show because we were prattling on about other stuff. Prattling on at length about other stuff was the Premier League decision yesterday in the Chelsea-Fulham game, where they did have the VAR and made a complete mess of it. Producers tell me we'll do it tomorrow, so we'll keep our powder dry, even though I think we know which way the powder's going to be flowing tomorrow. As if it's going to be some great big show tomorrow, because we're doing...
It's deadline day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And officiating criticism show. That's big. That's all you guys. You'll have a grand time. James Milner now. He scored today, 22
40.
years and 9 months after his first Premier League goal. What players in your era had longevity like that?
Gordon Strachan,
We Gordon.
Gary McAllister,
Yeah.
Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah, good old Teddy.
Gary Mack played till he was, well, he might have been 39, might have been 38, 39. Gordon, it was a slightly different era to me. He was a bit older, more Stevie's time. But he'd have still been playing now if he could. He was one of those, you know what I mean?
Aye.
I mean, you played to what age?
Yeah,
37?
but not at that level though.
Yeah.
I think I was like 39 when I had 2 years over here.
But with your crisps and the hand recoiling.
Aye. I caught
You had
up.
given
it
up.
caught up with me eventually.
I mean,
think
Teddy Sheringham played.
Gordon's the best example. Gordon Strachan's the best example. He was 37 when Leeds won the Premier League, and I believe it was 93, was it?
So when he was playing in the Premier League and player manager at Coventry, he could have been like 39,
Aye.
40.
Aye.
And still,
He's definitely the best example.
All right, there you have it. Next question now. Hi, guys. I just want to know, what are your opinions on Mateta? Is he slightly overlooked in the Premier League in terms of his qualities as a striker, judging by his performance in the past few seasons? Isn't he a better option than Šeško and Gyökeres? Jules, this is right in your wheelhouse because he's one of your boys. What do you think?
Yeah, I love him. I'm Paris born and bred as well. That's why he's so special. I do think he's a bit underrated, by people, because he's had just the last 2 years exceptional in what he did in the team that kind of his builds, not for him, but around him so perfectly that everything just fits for him. We saw again the game today at Villa, his ball for Kamada on the penalty, his penalty, but just all around how handful he is for the opposition. He's very much an old school centre forward, right? And you don't really see them that often anymore, like him. So I think we should enjoy him. Is he ready for a top club? Is he ready for France, for example, for the French national team? Maybe not. Although I would love to see him. I would love to see what he would do in a big club with a better players around him, for example, than what he has at Palace. But I can understand why nobody has come for him, for example, this summer.
You know the one thing that I don't get? Somebody like Mateta is absolutely perfect in this era of football. Because teams are closing the opposition down in their own penalty box. And I can't understand how players cannot find the centre forward with any regularity anymore. They've got more time and more space, right? Centre forwards like Mateta are absolutely perfect for the way the game's played today in order to get out. And the fact that this guy scores goals as well and can assist like we saw, I'm not so sure he wouldn't do well in the top teams. You know, if I'm a defender and I've got the opposition closing me down for the left, closing me down for the right, I've got one up my back, the whole thing, and I've got 30 yards of space to drop a ball in to a guy like Mateta, I should be able to do that. If I'm a professional footballer, I should be able to do that. And I can't believe today when we watch Premier League games, how many players struggle to give the centre forward a chance with a ball out from the back. It's just beyond me.
I don't think as well, and you remember that nasty injury he had last year in the FA Cup, the Millwall goalkeeper was around, and he wore the protective gear for the rest of the season, which he doesn't wear anymore. And obviously he had a great end to the season on the field, but I don't think people, we've had this discussion, I don't think people realise just how bad that injury was. The plastic surgeon that basically stitched his ear back on said he'd never seen anything like it before. I mean, it was such a horrendous injury. The fact that he came back so quick, put the headgear on and just went straight back in there, putting his head in again where it hurts is it's not as easy as you think, you know. That people just think, oh, he had a gash in his ear and there was a bit of blood. No. It was way worse than that.
It was way worse than that, indeed. Well, we're running out of time. Apparently, they may turn off the studio lights on us. I think Craig's made a call just so that we can finish.
I've got a little
He's
secret
got a little
button here.
When we're running too long, he says, it's time. He's putting a shift today. You have put in a shift today, Craig.
Just cut.
You only had a couple chocolates and a couple cups of tea to get you going.
Listen.
Let's go.
Cut the nonsense.
It's hardly coal mining, is it? I mean, we're hardly 100 foot down digging coal.
But Craig's tired. He's putting a shift.
Give it time.
Give it time. Give it time. All right. Thank you so much, Jules, for joining us. You have absolutely put in a shift as well. We'll let
No,
you
he hasn't.
get to
Thanks,
bed.
Joe.
No, he hasn't.
He's up
Thanks, Jules.
way past his
Well done,
bedtime. He's up way past his bedtime.
Shut up, will
He
you?
feels
For
like
God's sake.
He did put other jobs. All right, well, make sure to tune into ESPN FC tomorrow.
You
It's going to be
press
a brilliant show because it's transfer deadline day and Craig will be back and forced to work once again.